Existentialism is a philosophical movement that emerged prominently in the 19th and 20th centuries, responding to the growing sense of disillusionment with traditional beliefs and systems of meaning. Influenced by thinkers such as Kierkegaard, Nietzsche, Sartre, and Camus, existentialism grapples with the profound questions of human existence, freedom, and the search for meaning in an often indifferent and chaotic universe. This video explores the central tenets of existentialism, focusing on the concepts of existence preceding essence, freedom and responsibility, absurdity, authenticity, alienation, death and finitude, and the individual versus the crowd. One of the fundamental principles of existentialism is the idea that existence precedes essence. This assertion challenges the traditional essentialist view that individuals are born with a predetermined purpose or nature. Existentialists argue that humans are not defined by any inherent essence at birth. Rather, they must define themselves through their actions, their choices, and their experiences. Sartre, one of the most prominent existentialist philosophers, articulated this concept by emphasizing that human beings are condemned to be free. In his seminal work, Being and Nothingness, Sartre asserts that individuals are thrust into existence without any predetermined essence and must navigate their freedom to create their own identities and purposes. This perspective places immense emphasis on personal agency, suggesting that each person has the power and the burden to shape their own destiny. The implications of this belief are quite profound. It challenges individuals to take ownership of their lives and decisions, recognizing that their essence is not handed to them but crafted through their lived experience. This perspective fosters a sense of empowerment, but also underscores the existentialist recognition of the weighty responsibility that comes with such freedom. Closely linked to the idea that existence precedes essence is the existentialist emphasis on freedom and responsibility. Existentialists assert that humans possess the freedom to make choices, but that freedom is accompanied by the responsibility for the consequences of those choices. The duality of freedom and responsibility is a cornerstone of existentialist thought. Sartre famously stated that humans are condemned to be free, highlighting the paradox of freedom. While freedom allows for personal agency and the ability to shape your life, it also brings the burden of responsibility. This responsibility can lead to feelings of anxiety or angst, as individuals must confront the uncertainty and potential consequences of their choices. Kierkegaard, another key figure in existentialism, explored the concept of anxiety in his work, The Concept of Anxiety. He described anxiety as the dizziness of freedom, the feeling that arises when individuals recognize the vast possibilities available to them and the responsibility of choosing among them. This existential anxiety is not necessarily negative. Rather, it is a fundamental aspect of the human condition that drives individuals to confront their freedom and make meaningful choices. The emphasis on freedom and responsibility challenges individuals to live authentically, making choices that reflect their true selves rather than conforming to external pressures or societal norms. It encourages a deep sense of self-awareness and intentionality in your actions, fostering a more meaningful and ultimately purposeful existence. Another central theme in existentialism is the notion of absurdity, which reflects the conflict between the human desire to find inherent meaning in life and the indifferent meaningless nature of the universe. This concept is closely associated with Camus, who explored the idea of absurdity in his essay, The Myth of... what was it called? The Myth of Sisyphus. Excuse me, sorry, I can't speak today. I'm stuttering and stumbling all over the place. I guess you could say that's every day, but whatever. Anyway, Camus argues that the human quest for meaning is fundamentally at odds with the indifferent and chaotic nature of the universe. This dissonance creates a sense of absurdity as individuals strive to find purpose in a world that offers none. However, rather than succumbing to despair, Camus suggests that individuals must embrace the absurd and continue to search for personal meaning despite it. The myth of Sisyphus, as presented by Camus, serves as a powerful metaphor for the human condition. Sisyphus is condemned by the gods to roll a boulder up a hill, only to have it rolled back down each time he reaches the top. Despite the futility of his task, Sisyphus continues to push the boulder, embodying the spirit of existential defiance. Camus concludes that one must imagine Sisyphus happy, as he finds meaning and fulfillment in the act of rebellion against the absurdity of his situation. The concept of absurdity invites individuals to confront the inherent meaninglessness, I always struggle with that word, meaninglessness of the universe, and to create their own meaning through their actions and choices. It encourages a resilient and defiant attitude, urging individuals to live fully and authentically in the face of an indifferent world. Authenticity is a key existentialist value, emphasizing the importance of living in accordance with your true self and your values, rather than conforming to external pressures or societal norms and expectations. Achieving authenticity requires self-awareness, courage, and the willingness to take responsibility for your choices. Sartre's concept of bad faith illustrates the pitfalls of inauthenticity. Bad faith occurs when individuals deceive themselves by denying their freedom and responsibility, instead conforming to societal roles or expectations. This self-deception leads to an inauthentic existence, as individuals fail to recognize and embrace their true selves. In contrast to this, authenticity involves acknowledging your freedom and responsibility, making choices that align with your genuine values and desires. The pursuit of The pursuit of authenticity is a continuous process, requiring constant self-examination and the courage to act in ways that reflect your true nature. Kierkegaard also explored the idea of authenticity, particularly in the context of faith and individualism. In Fear and Trembling, he examines the biblical story of Abraham, who is condemned by God to sacrifice his son Isaac. Kierkegaard views Abraham's faith as an expression of authenticity, as he follows his true beliefs and values despite the incomprehensible nature of the command. This story highlights the existentialist belief in the importance of individual experience and personal conviction in the quest for authenticity. Living authentically is seen as the path to living a more fulfilling and meaningful life. It involves embracing your freedom, taking responsibility for your choices, and living in accordance with your true self rather than succumbing to external pressures or societal norms. Alienation is a recurring theme within existentialist thought. referring to the sense of being estranged, or I guess you could say disconnected from yourself and from others and the world. This feeling of alienation arises from the struggle to find meaning in what seems like an indifferent and chaotic universe. Existentialists believe that alienation is a fundamental aspect of the human condition. It reflects the inherent tension between the individual's desire for meaning and the universe's apparent lack of inherent purpose. This tension can lead to feelings of isolation, disconnection, and existential loneliness. However, existentialists also argue that this sense of alienation can be mitigated through the pursuit of authenticity and self-awareness. By embracing your freedom and taking responsibility for your choices, individuals can find deeper connections within themselves and others. Nietzsche also explored the concept of alienation in his critique of modern society and its impact on the individual. He argued that societal norms and values often lead individuals away from their true selves, resulting in a sense of alienation and disconnection. Nietzsche's call to become who you are reflects the existentialist belief in the importance of personal authenticity and self-discovery in overcoming alienation. Through the process of self-examination and the pursuit of authenticity, individuals are able to bridge the gap between themselves and the world, finding meaning and connection in their experiences and relationships. The awareness of death and finitude of life is a central theme in existentialism. Existentialists believe that recognizing the inevitability of death can lead to a deeper appreciation of your life and the urgency to live authentically and meaningfully. Heidegger, a key existentialist thinker, explored the concept of being toward death in his work Being and Time. Heidegger argued that confronting the reality of death is essential for living an authentic life. By acknowledging their mortality, individuals are compelled, I guess would be a good word for it, individuals are compelled to confront their existence and make choices that reflect their true selves. The awareness of death serves as a catalyst for living more intentionally. It underscores the importance of each moment and the need to make meaningful choices. Rather than leading to despair, the recognition of finitude can inspire individuals to live more fully and authentically, appreciating the preciousness of life. Camus also addressed the theme of death and finitude in his exploration of absurdity. He argued that the awareness of death highlights the absurdity of the human condition, but also emphasizes the importance of living authentically in the face of absurdity. By emphasizing the reality of death, individuals can find greater meaning and purpose in their lives by making choices that reflect their true values and desires. Existentialists place a strong emphasis on the individual. They highlight the importance of personal experience and individual action over conforming to the collective or the crowd. Existentialists argue that true meaning and authenticity can only be found through personal experience and individual choices. This belief challenges you as the individual to resist the pressure of societal conformity and to prioritize your unique perspectives and your experiences. It underscores the existentialist conviction that personal freedom and responsibility are paramount in the quest for a meaningful life. Nietzsche's critique of the the herd mentality reflects this emphasis on the individual. He argued that societal norms and values often lead individuals to conform and suppress their true selves. Nietzsche's call to embrace your individuality and create your own values resonates with the existentialist emphasis on personal authenticity and self-discovery. Sartre also explored the tension between the individual and the collective in his concept of the look. He argued that individuals often feel objectified and denied by the gaze of others, leading to a sense of alienation and inauthenticity. To overcome this, Sartre emphasised the importance of asserting your own identity and values rather than conforming to external expectations. By prioritising the individual over the collective, existentialism encourages a deeper exploration of personal freedom, responsibility, and authenticity. It invites individuals to craft and create their own meaning and purpose, to resist the pressures of societal conformity. So those are the core principles of existentialism. It is by no means the full depth of the philosophy, but that is the beginnings, I guess you could say, of understanding of the philosophy. Existentialism is a profound and challenging philosophical movement that confronts the fundamental questions of human existence, freedom, and meaning. Through its emphasis on existence preceding essence, freedom and responsibility, authenticity, absurdity, alienation, death and finitude, and the individual versus the crowd, existentialism invites individuals to embrace their freedom and take responsibility for creating their own meaning and purpose in life. By acknowledging the inherent uncertainties and absurdities of the human condition, existentialism fosters a resilient and defiant attitude, urging individuals to live authentically and fully. It encourages a deep sense of self-awareness, intentionality, and personal agency, empowering individuals to navigate the complexities of existence and find meaning in their actions and choices. In a world that often seems indifferent and chaotic, existentialism provides a powerful framework for understanding and embracing the human experience. It challenges individuals to confront their freedom, take responsibility for their choices, and create their own essence through their lived experience. Through this process, existentialism inspires a more meaningful and fulfilling existence, rooted in authenticity, personal conviction, and its relentless pursuit of meaning in an absurd world. Now, before I go, I just want to add on to that there is a common misconception about existentialism that exists in the world, and that is that it is somehow a philosophy of the defeatist, that it is devoid of meaning and everything's meaningless, therefore there is nothing and no meaning and so on. As you can clearly see as we've gone through the principles of existentialism, that is absolutely not the case, but that is nonetheless the external what's the word I'm looking for? Perception, the external perception of existentialism, forged by those who, without being rude, have no idea what they're talking about. So yeah, so that is, in a nutshell, that's existentialism. It is a good place, a good place to move forward from. The knowledge that I have shared with you today should, in theory, give you enough of a foundation for you to explore the philosophy in more depth and view it through a more personal lens. So before I go, I would like to know, have you ever heard of existentialism before? And if so, has what you've heard about it before, does that match up to what I've shared with you today? And if it doesn't, what is the difference? Because that's what I'd like to know. Because philosophy is, at its core, it is the act of figuring out the best way of thinking about something. So existentialism at its core is really a framework for you to think about how to derive meaning from life. So I would be interested to know whether that framework that I've laid out to you is congruent with the existing idea of existentialism that you currently have, and if it's not, then what are those differences, and are those differences compatible with what I've just shared with you, or have you been given a misconception of existentialism? So yeah, jump in the comments and let me know, because I'd be really interested to know, because it is a philosophy that is often misunderstood, and the same could be true for perhaps all philosophical schools of thought. But nonetheless, it's good to see the different perspectives that people have, because the more we discuss it and debate it, the more refined our viewpoint becomes, the closer to truth that we are able to achieve. So jump in the comments and let's get talking. But that's all I got for you today. Thank you very much for listening to me drone on for the last 20 or so minutes. And if you have any questions about existentialism, then jump in the comments and I will do my very best to answer them for you.